or winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 330 North 48th Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the happy hour. 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary hanging out with you. What's up, Rico?
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going great. I kind of put a little tease in there at the end of the water cooler.
Yeah.
About the Boilermaker Bloodbath movie trailer that was created for the 2015 game.
That was
Nebraska,
a long time ago.
Purdue. If anybody remembers that game or that time in ticket history, you're going to hear a couple voices that where you're going to, you know what? I'm just going to play it.
No, not yet.
Okay.
We got to wait for a second. So this 2015 game, since we're going down this road.
We can read the stats after because it'll mention names.
Okay, then as you guys know, 402-464-5685, the Honda Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you guys the entire show.
Let me make a banner for this.
Here it's the Boilermaker Bloodbath from the 2015 game, a game that Nebraska lost 55-45 to what would be a 2-6 Purdue team after this win by the Boilermakers. They lost 55-45. Riker Fife got the start for the Huskers. Here is the movie trailer made by our very own Mark Onweiler.
In a world where quarterbacks are never safe, say goodnight, Tommy.
Okay, Tommy, you go over there. You put it in the second stringer. Is it Barney Fife? Is that? I don't think I've ever met you before. Remember that Barney Fife, the deputy show? I like that show. That's funny. Hey, Barney's gonna do some reps.
It's Riker, Coach.
Chop, chop, Barney.
Coming this Halloween.
3rd and 1 at the Boilermaker 42-yard line. 1:30 left in the game. First down seals the deal for the Cornhuskers. You've got to think they'll continue to feed Andy Janovich. He's had a breakout day, over 300 yards this afternoon. He has been an absolute monster.
Triple reverse flea flicker on 3.
But Coach Langsdorff, we just need a yard. Give it to Jano.
Run the play, Riker.
Let's go, Barney.
Okay. Hut!
Saturday morning.
Hut!
Ross Aid Stadium.
Hut!
The Boilermaker Bloodbath.
And scene.
We just need a yard, Danny.
Triple reverse flea flicker. Run the play, Riker.
Let Riker Fife cook. Instead of Russell Wilson cook.
Mark texts in spooky season. It is spooky season.
Instead of let Russell Wilson cook, let Riker Fife
cook.
Do we think where do we think Riker Fife is right now?
No idea, but
Grand Island.
Shout out to Tom Stevens for
shout out to
for the Mike Riley impersonation.
Tom, I miss Tom. If you don't, I mean, if you miss Tom as well on the airwaves, he's still here 5 to 7 on Husker Rewind on Sunday nights.
Byron, that was the game that Riker threw for 400. He had 4 interceptions, but he also had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go through the stats here. We'll go with it. Go ahead and go through that.
Just hand it to Jano.
We only need 1 yard. Run the play, Barney. You kept calling him Barney.
Hey, Barney. You remember that show? I love that show. Anyways.
Man, God, love it. All right, so Purdue. Nebraska at this time was 2015 Nebraska versus Purdue. ESPN's being a little weird.
Also,
Okay.
shout out to Jake Sorensen for being Riker.
Yes, thank you.
Hut. The emphasis on the T.
Nonstop. Okay, so Nebraska came into this game 3-5. Purdue came in 1-6. Nebraska came in 1-3 in the conference, and Purdue came in 0-3. Riker Fife, here is his final stat line: 29 of 48 through the air, 407 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions.
A QBR of 31.
Former Detroit Lion quarterback David Blau, 28 of 43 for 274 yards and 4 touchdowns.
No picks.
QBR
of 87.
Nebraska's leading rusher was Terrell Newby, 10 carries for 56 yards. People don't talk about Terrell Newby.
Should they?
He had a couple big games.
Andy Janovich had 2 carries for 2 yards.
Just run the ball. Hand it to
He had
Janovich.
a yard. He was averaging a yard a carry.
Yeah, that's all you needed.
Could have gotten it.
Jordan Westerkamp was the leading receiver here. 9 catches, 123 receiving yards, and a touchdown. Brandon Riley had 5 catches for 88 yards. What are some good names? Oh, Amani
Stephen
Cross.
Carter, Stanley Morgan, Jamal Turner, DeMornay Pearsonell, Amani Cross. That's a nice team right there. That's a nice team.
Whoa.
Sam Foltz, 3 punts, 144 yards. RIP. Averaged 48 yards along a 59.
Nebraska.
Man, he had a leg.
Nebraska returned 8 kicks.
Yep, for
in this
163 yards.
20 yards per kick return.
Stanley Morgan had a
But
long
they had
42.
They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different guys return kicks. Now, they did get an onside kick. You might remember Nebraska did get an onside kick in this game when they were down 55-45, although there were 30 seconds left. So that's a little bit of a problem. But how about David Blau? How about that?
David Blau also had 10 carries for 82 yards.
Gee whiz.
David Blau was doing everything for Purdue. Ooh,
wait.
Do you remember Yancey for Purdue?
I do.
5 receptions, 111 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Okay. D'Angelo Yancey. Yes, that's right. Okay, man. See, this is what we got to do. Reminisce. So we'll do
Currently a free agent.
Shocker.
He was born a year after I was. We share a birthday.
Rico making
me and D'Angelo Yancey share a birthday a year apart. Wow.
I wonder who I share a birthday with in the NFL. Is there a way to look this up?
Yeah, I mean, you can. It takes a little bit.
It just takes a little bit, so we shouldn't probably do that right now. Corey and Lincoln said on the text line, once again, 402-464-5685. If you watched any New Jersey Generals games this summer, which unfortunately I did not, Corey and Lincoln says you would have seen Riker patrolling the sidelines as a member of Mike Riley's staff. Wow. How about that? I didn't know that.
Look at
Riker Fife is a coach?
Look at Riker Fife.
Hold on. We gotta look this up just to see where he's at right now. Riker Fife, unfortunately, he does not have a Wikipedia page. No, that's
okay.
sad.
Wet blanket. You don't
that's too bad.
You don't have to be rude about it.
Wet blanket. Nebraska lost to a 1-6 Purdue team in 2015. Yet every offseason, people in this station, me and Rico, continue to predict 7 to 10 wins because all problems that Nebraska's had since 2015 are Tommy Armstrong or Adrian Martinez's fault.
I have never blamed Adrian Martinez.
Never blamed
Armstrong
Adrian
in my life.
And I'll continue to never blame Adrian.
I will blame everyone but them.
Yeah, there you go. Good
It's
idea.
everyone else's fault. All right? Your quarterback's doing everything he can.
Okay, so people are trashing on Terrell Newby on the text line. I don't like that. Thank you, Bach. Thank you. You like Terrell Newby? Thank you. He had a good year.
That is the least surprising thing.
He had a good year.
Liking Terrell Newby.
He had a good year, or a good game, against Minnesota one year. I can't remember.
Good for him.
He had a 63-yard rushing touchdown against Illinois. He had a 31-yard rushing touchdown against Minnesota. Let's just go ahead and go to his college statistics here.
We're doing this. Are you a Terrell Newby stan?
He had 865 yards his junior year rushing. He had 889 yards rushing his senior year. He averaged 5.2 yards per carry his junior year, 5.1 yards per carry his senior year.
Good for him. Good for Terrell Newby.
Is that bad?
No.
Does that make Terrell Newby a bad running back?
No.
He had a shot at the NFL, for goodness sakes. Terrell Newby, come on. Waterboy says Trey Bryant's okay. We're not saying that.
Hey, Trey Bryant's the homie.
Trey Bryant he was almost there.
3 games.
He was so close.
2 games. 3 games in.
Wasn't his last game against like Northern Illinois or something?
No, it was
like
Oregon.
That?
It was at Oregon. He blew his knee out and he was done after that.
Gosh, that's so sad. Trey Bryant was on the verge of being a heck of a running back.
Maybe being a heck of a running back.
2017, he had 51 carries for 299 yards and 2 touchdowns
in 2.25 games.
Yeah. It doesn't have the game-by-game statistics on ESPN, unfortunately. Game log, there we go. So I'm looking for in
Oregon
2 games.
2 games. Oregon is his last game.
Yeah, so in against Arkansas State, a game that Nebraska won 43-36 at home.
Yeesh.
He had 31 carries for 192 yards and a touchdown. Against Oregon, a game that Nebraska lost on the road 42-35.
Attempted a comeback, didn't work.
They were close. Trey Bryant had 20 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown. So I would say that's a pretty good running back. I mean, I don't know. It's no Roy Halu, unfortunately. Waterboy says, I love Trey Bryant. That's no shame at Bryant. All the shade to newbie. Man, we're just out. Here we go. Kent, Waterboy, this is for you. Newbie was highly recruited and had crazy speed. Totally mismanaged by Nebraska. There it is. He had a shot at the league. He was signed to the Vikings.
Do you know how many players you could say that about? Totally mismanaged by Nebraska.
Should we just go down the list here?
I don't think we should, because that'd be a very long list.
It'd be a very long list. It'd be longer than Rico's guys list.
It would. Just all tight ends.
Yeah. Ethan Carter, Kyler Reed.
We're not naming them. I'm just all tight ends.
All tight ends. I mean, Austin Allen could even be.
Austin Allen only had like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's really sad. Hey,
Travis Vokolek caught his first touchdown as a Cornhusker.
Oh, I thought it was his second on Saturday.
The broadcast could be wrong. Honestly, I don't trust the broadcast.
We did not talk about the broadcast
I don't trust
enough.
The broadcast.
The broadcast was atrocious.
He caught either his first or his second touchdown as a Cornhusker against Rutgers. All right? That's mismanagement. I understand he was injured.
Well, and he was behind Austin Allen, but then Austin Allen only had 4.
You can put 2 tight ends in the game.
There is a shocking statement there.
Crazy.
Well, here's the crazy thing about
Austin Allen went down for a while.
Didn't we say last week, Rico, that Vokolek was going to have a big game on Friday?
We did.
He had himself a pretty decent game on Friday.
Decent.
Caught a touchdown, his first for Nebraska. He had 6 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown. And in terms of Nebraska tight ends, that's not too bad.
That's a pretty solid.
That's a pretty good day. Nice day for Travis Vokolek.
I am upset.
I can tell that. Okay, so we're gonna get to the bottom of this. 2022 season stats. Vokolek has 13 catches for 122 yards and a touchdown. Yikes! You're right. It was his first touchdown in Nebraska. Third career. First touchdown since 2018,
where he had 2. For Rutgers.
Yeah, in that 2018 season, he had 16 catches for 184 yards and 2 touchdowns. Yikes, man. That's too bad. Okay, let's actually talk about this broadcast crew, because it's very obvious when people try to be like Gus Johnson. Is that fair to say? People try to be like Gus Johnson, and like the energy and the statements that they make,
the weird
wordplay, and it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Gus Johnson has made his career, and he hangs his hat on it, and it fits perfectly for Gus Johnson. It also fits their broadcast of Gus, Joel, and Jenny.
He just says things that make absolutely no sense.
Yes,
you're like, you know what? I like it.
It works.
The one time it was against it was Ohio State and probably Maryland. Dude lit a Maryland player up in the backfield on like a screenplay, and Gus Johnson said, "You got barbecue back there? You didn't invite me? Hurt my feelings."
That's what I'm saying.
I have no idea what that means, but I like it.
Nobody understands what he's saying. Well, we understand, obviously. But he's got like the rise and fire. He's got to get away from the cop's speed.
Yeah, that was
a good one.
That one might have gotten him in a little bit of hot water.
Maybe. From the parking lot. So here's the thing. I get fed up with people trying to be like Gus Johnson. And you got to figure out a way to kind of navigate your own path and build your own,
be your own person.
Be your own person. But I turn on the Husker game, and Devin Gardner's out there trying to be an analyst. And then you also have Robert Griffin III.
Oh, okay. No.
You're a fan of Robert RG3?
100% in on all of the out of pocket things that RG3 says.
RG3 is completely. We need to grab a compilation. Compilation. I almost said compilation.
100% in on all of the
compilation of all the things that Robert
says.
Griffin III says. And because
he was calling a Washington game, and he goes, "That's Penix in the end zone." Or something. He said it's something that was totally unnecessary, and I loved it.
It's all out of pocket from. Is he not RG3 anymore? Is it Robert Griffin?
He's RG3.
Okay, RG3. We need to grab it because I turned on the Oregon State Stanford game late at night.
I know which one you're talking about.
Late at night on Saturday, and the guy is just completely out of control.
He said they're really pounding that beaver.
Yes. And he's talking about the stupid trees. They're showing the trees. Oh, look at those beautiful trees out there. And I can't remember who. The play-by-play guy was. But the play-by-play guy, RG3, is talking over him. And he's saying stupid things that the play-by-play guy is just like, I don't even know what to say to that.
100% in on RG3.
No.
100%.
We need to, during the commercial break, Rico, we need to figure out if we can find RG3.
The most out-of-pocket
things that RG3 is saying.
Oh, I love it.
Because he is...
Him and Shady McCoy got into it on Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. And RG3 just tweets out the randomest things.
I do not support his tweets.
I just don't understand where this came from.
I do not support his TikToks, but I do support him as a color analyst.
I just don't know where this stuff came from. So we're gonna go ahead and head to a little bit of an early break, a little bit of a sip and Jake.
There you go.
We will try to find RG3 saying some out of pocket stuff while on broadcast, while on national television.
Love it. There are children listening.
Yeah, there are children, and we're talking about the trees, and we're talking about students in the student section. It's just out of pocket. And then we will also talk a little bit Purdue, Nebraska.
He's not eating a cupcake with a candle that's lit on it.
But that's Bill Walton. That's who he is.
Okay, RG3 is being who he is. This is this thing.
RG3 is a good college quarterback.
Great.
A great college quarterback.
He won a
Heisman. That's you're right. You're right. And he also didn't he have Corey Coleman?
No.
Was he part of the Corey Coleman?
After.
Sad. So he was a great college quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I will give him that. He knows the game of football.
Could have been a great NFL quarterback.
Maybe.
If he took his team to the playoffs as a rookie, if he doesn't blow out his knee, he has a great career.
But the NFL wasn't necessarily the league it is today when RG3 was in the league.
He was going to be Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd stamp that.
Either way,
seal of approval.
He is a quarterback that did not make it long in the NFL because of injury.
Mm-hmm.
You know the game as well as anyone.
At a very high level.
At a very high level. There's no reason for the other out-of-pocket remarks.
Yeah, there is. He's having fun.
No, you can have fun and you can have laughs without sounding stupid.
I love it. He doesn't sound stupid.
We're going to try to find a compilation. Compilation. We'll do that coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your high school football coverage rolls on right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainert. Join me this week from Seacrest Field for 2 games. On Thursday, we get our first look at Millard West as they travel to Lincoln to face off against Lincoln Southwest. The Silverhawks look to get their 7th win of the season on Thursday, which would be the most wins for Lincoln Southwest in a single season since 2018. On Friday at 7 p.m., it's Lincoln North Star and Lincoln East squaring off. The Spartans still have some work to do to solidify themselves in the playoffs, while the Gators are on the outside looking in. Make sure you tune in this Thursday and Friday for all your Week 8 high school football action right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is now open in Lincoln. Shop our expansive collection of wine, beer, spirits, and cigars at 5040 27th Street. From top-shelf liquor to crowd-favorite beer, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits has a beverage for every taste and every budget. Plus, join our loyalty program to earn rewards and save on future purchases. Shop Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits at 5040 27th Street in Lincoln. That's 5040 27th Street.
Businesses from all over the capital city are excited to welcome you to the 2022 Lincoln Expo on Wednesday, October 19th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Enjoy one of the region's largest trade shows as you network, find out about Lincoln businesses, and visit the many interactive booths. The expo has something for everyone, including the popular Lincoln Craft Beer Tour and a free Lincoln t-shirt. Best of all, it's free to attend. The Lincoln Expo, showcasing and celebrating local business.
There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and things are cooking here in Louisville. We are really hitting on all cylinders right now, and deals are off the charts. We've got a lot more new 2022 and 2023 Chevrolet and GMC inventory than we've had in a long time. So make sure you check us out online, or do even better, stop on in the store and let us show you one in person. Our pre-owned lot is plumb full, so take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection. And sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And, of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
Get an immediate look back at the game from the people who know it best. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word live from Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Hear from former players and national champions like Jay Foreman, Rashawn Jackson, and Aaron Davis, and see what they saw in that day's game. It's the Tanner's post-game show and the final word, live and in person, home or away at Tanner's Bar and Grill, brought to you by Bauer Infrastructure. Only here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clark's, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank. A relationship you can count on.
Windy and cooler here for our Wednesday with an afternoon high of around 70. Northwest winds could eventually gust over 30 by later this afternoon. Tonight mainly clear, a low dropping down to around 45. It will be windy again tomorrow. Northwest winds once again gusting to around 35 with a high of 64. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I grew up hearing that women are bad with money. But like many of you, I spent years paying bills, managing checking accounts, and taking care of my family. So turns out women are pretty good with money after all. And now I'm taking control of my financial future by saving for retirement. It's never too late to start, and there's a great website to help you. Check out WeSaySaveIt.org and jumpstart your retirement savings on your budget and your timeline. That's WeSaySaveIt.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary. Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
So we couldn't find any of the audio, but we found all of the quotes.
We found a lot of the quotes.
And, okay.
I'll go ahead and just let you do it, Rico.
So at one point, he was calling the Michigan game, right? Michigan has a running back whose last name is O-R-J-I. Okay? I'll just let you think, just marinate on that for a second. O-R-J-I. How do you think that's pronounced? Orgy.
Don't ask me. Okay.
Or Jai. I don't know. Well,
that's not how.
That's not how RG3 pronounced it. I don't know how it was pronounced. But that's not how RG3 pronounced it. Said running back ran into the end zone for a touchdown. RG3 proceeds to say there is an insert last name here in the end zone. I'm not going to say it because of FCC guidelines. Yeah. But
what was that noise that just came out? I was trying. Rico, I was laughing, and so anyway. So we have that quote from RG3. Another one.
No, I got this. I got this. He's calling the Michigan game, the Michigan State Washington game. We all know Washington's quarterback, right? Michael Penix Jr. transferred from Indiana. Well, he threw like 5 touchdowns in that game. RG3 proceeds to say he's got big Penix energy.
Just like that. Thank you.
Just like that. And then I believe it was also in that game, the center was flagged. The center was flagged for snapping the ball like an illegal snap. He asks his play-by-play guy, Mark Jones, he says, do you know what we call that? Mark Jones says, I don't know, a pump fake? RG3 kind of waits for a second. He goes, premature snapulation.
I want to make it very clear. All right, when I come at this, here's the thing.
Is great.
When I talk about RG3, it's not that I don't think those are funny, because they're hilarious.
Oh, those are great.
They are just so out of pocket, and they just come out of nowhere to where it's almost too much. Because if you were watching the Oregon State-Stanford game on Saturday night, he said something along the lines of like, he ate that beaver up.
Something like that.
Something like that. And I don't necessarily want to hear that at 1:15 in the morning when Pac-12 After Dark football is happening.
Well, he's not saying that for you. He's saying that for the Pac-12 people who are out there, and it's
11:30.
It's only 11:30. They're fine. It's just a night game for it,
well,
not a morning game.
All I'm saying is
that isn't for you. Okay.
People talk so much crap. They give other announcers crap for all the things they say. D-Ron says you're a fun hater.
It's true.
No,
it's true.
I'm not. It's just RG3 is sometimes out of pocket.
You know what you are? You are being exactly like those people who don't like, and now I can't remember his name. We were just talking about him.
Mark Sanchez?
No, not Mark Sanchez. Mark Sanchez is also funny. All of the energy.
I'm just going to go after people or just name people. Gus Johnson.
Oh,
my. How do you forget Gus Johnson?
No idea. You're being like those people.
I love Gus.
Yeah. But
why? Because that's him.
And this is RG3.
No.
How do you know? You don't know him personally. Maybe he says all these out-of-pocket things all the time.
Well, then he's just a wild person.
I love it.
That's you're out of control.
He knows football at a high level, and he's also having fun with it.
Okay, so Wet Blanket says, I am Team Nick. If I wanted to hear bad bleep references, I would
say that.
Okay, fine. That's mean. That's horrible. I didn't read the entire thing.
That's gross.
I'm not going to read that. We're done with that one. No, I don't want that one. Would you want another generic announcer? I would want somebody that analyzes the game.
He does. We're just picking out sound bites. We're just picking out things. It's not like he doesn't say that the entire game. Sure, the Michigan or the Washington one he did, but I mean, you're calling a game with a guy whose last name is Penix. I mean, it's kind of hard.
Rico, you're the one that keeps laughing so hard about that one, especially.
Yeah, it's funny.
So here we go. Somebody, Downtown Scott says, you keep saying out of pocket. I'm not sure you guys know what that means. Out of pocket basically means that you're doing or saying something that's inappropriate or out of line.
You're being wild.
You're being out of control. Out of pocket.
You crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
As a water boy caught it.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is. All right. That's all we need to talk about with RG3. Let's talk about Purdue, Nebraska. 402-464-5685 Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you. Rico, how do we feel going into this game? Are we at this point right now? Because I was having a conversation with somebody earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like 3 weeks ago, if you would have asked us about this game, Was there a lot of intrigue and interest in this game? Probably not, because you're coming off of a loss against either Georgia Southern, or you're coming off of a blowout loss against Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't really know how much stock to put into Indiana and Rutgers. You don't really know what to expect from your team in Indiana and Rutgers. And here we are with help of the way that the Big Ten West has kind of shaken out as well. I think that plays a part into it. If Wisconsin was undefeated, or if Iowa was undefeated and their offense scored more than 2 points per game, then, maybe we have a different discussion. But there's a lot of intrigue right now surrounding Saturday's game, because here I will say this, and this is what I told the person I was talking to this morning about it. If Nebraska somehow squeaks out a win on Saturday, now do I think they will? I'm leaning towards no. From early thoughts, but there is a possibility.
They did lose their number one corner will not be playing in this game.
But let's just say they do.
For Purdue, not Nebraska.
How much better do you feel going into a home game 2 weeks out? Because we know what Mickey Joseph can do and is willing to do during a bye week. Nebraska has another bye week following this Purdue game. You win 3 games for the first time since who knows when.
3 games in a row.
And
since Mike Riley.
Even 3 conference games in a row.
That's
and then you have a bye week against, or it's just a bye week, excuse me. And then you have followed by a home game against Illinois,
who may possibly be tied with you for first in the Big Ten West.
Exactly.
I have to see if they're I think the bye weeks match up.
So that's where, how do you feel about that Illinois game? Because now the way that the Big Ten West has kind of shaken out is we look at Illinois, Purdue, and Minnesota as the top teams in the Big Ten West right now, and rightfully so. But that's not even the 4 that we talked about at the beginning of the season being the toughest.
No. Iowa, Wisconsin.
And that's what's freaky. So if Nebraska is able to somehow, we say the cliche reference or phrase of you control your own destiny. We said that going into Indiana because it was true, and it still is true. But if there's a way that Nebraska is somehow able to not only go 2-0, but go 3-0, and then have a home game that's probably, looking at the schedule around the rest of the conference, probably going to be another 6:30 kickoff, because
more than likely. So both teams will be coming off of bye. Illinois plays Minnesota this week, then they have a bye week as well. So Mickey Joseph versus Brett Bielema, both coming off of both with an extra week to prepare.
Here's the thing, guys, and if we just want to play hypotheticals, if Illinois is able to get the job done against Minnesota, that gives Minnesota 2 losses in the conference. And that is without playing Wisconsin or Iowa. Minnesota would be in the same situation as Nebraska. They have not played Wisconsin or Iowa, but they have 1 more loss. Illinois has 1 loss in the Big Ten West right now, and
if they're able to get past Minnesota.
they have 2 Big Ten losses because they lost to Indiana week 1.
Yeah, no, they only have 1 Big Ten loss. If they lose to Minnesota,
thank you. So here's what's interesting though. Nebraska could get through this slate, and how much energy would be surrounding the team if they go into a bye week 3-0, and you could argue that they have a better shot of beating Illinois at home than they do at beating Purdue on the road. And it's hard as a fan, and the way things have gone, to not sit here and at least entertain the thought of Nebraska going 4-0 in this stretch. And how electric that would make this fan base is crazy.
There is a chance, however unlikely, but I honestly don't like the home matchup with Illinois more than the road match against Purdue. The night road sellout match against Purdue, I think Nebraska has a better chance than going up against Illinois at home, more than likely at night with a sold-out crowd, just because, this Illinois team is stacked to the gills with some pretty talented players. They've proven they've taken the kind of game plan of their head coach. They've adopted their head coach, and they're playing hard-nosed football, kind of like what Wisconsin used to do. That's Illinois now. They're playing better Big Ten football than Wisconsin and Iowa are offensively and defensively. They have one of the best running backs in the country, maybe the leading rusher in the country. I'm not actually sure yards-wise if he's still up there or not. I know he's one of the best in Chase Brown for Illinois. And again, you're both going to be coming off of a bye week. And no matter how much I like Mickey Joseph and I want Mickey Joseph to succeed, he's still relatively new to head coaching, not to coaching. He's not relatively new to coaching. He's been there, done that in the coaching realm.
You're right.
But when it comes to head coaching and getting a team prepared, as the lead dog, he is relatively new to that, going up against a guy who's been doing it year in and year out. He was at Wisconsin. He was at Arkansas, even though he didn't work out too well there. He, bounced around from place to place, and now he's at Illinois, and he's been there for 2 years.
Well,
So
the perfect example, though, Rico, sorry to interrupt, is 2021 with Illinois and Nebraska. The first game of the season, the first game back in the Big Ten for Brett Bielema. That's the perfect example where
he's been here and done that. He knows what it takes to win in the Big Ten. He knows what it takes to take down teams in the Big Ten. So coming off of a bye week, I don't like that matchup at all. But there is, however small, a chance that Nebraska, with newfound energy, with a new and improved defense, is able to take down a Purdue and maybe take down an Illinois, going 4-0 in a stretch to start. I'm just going to say start Big Ten play. I'm just taking out the Northwestern game because it was the beginning of the season. To start Big Ten play, there's a chance you can go 4-0 and kind of snatch the Big Ten West lead from Purdue and Illinois.
Which is just a crazy thought that like Iowa and Wisconsin are not in that conversation right now.
No. Well,
it's just Wisconsin.
Iowa has 2 losses, don't they? Or do they only have 1?
I think that we're just thinking, despite the records, I think we're just sitting here thinking how Iowa can't score the football, and even in a division like the Big Ten West that you need to score the football, they have 2 Big Ten losses, Michigan and Iowa, or Michigan and Illinois.
You're right.
But here's the thing: like, I feel good about Nebraska's chances going on the road against Iowa. Now that's a far ways away. That's a long ways away.
Mm-hmm.
But Iowa does not scare me like they have in years past.
This is a weird...
Spencer Petras is not good. They don't have an Akram Wadley in the backfield. They don't have that. They don't have a Tyler Linderbaum up at center either. They have a really, really strong defense that we'll talk about when we get to that game prior to Black Friday. However, their offense, like no matter how bad Nebraska's defense is, whether it's the version of Georgia Southern or whether it's the version of the 2 shutouts in the second half these last 2 weeks, I feel good that Nebraska is going to be able to score more points than Iowa.
I mean, in their last game, there was a drive where they went 3 and out. They punted. Whoever they were facing, I don't remember who it was. It was their last game, whoever it was. They punted. The team muffed the punt. Iowa recovered. Iowa went 3 and out again, going backwards.
Yeah.
Went 3 and out again. Punted again. The team got it. Iowa forced a fumble. Iowa recovered, went backwards again, and then kicked a field goal.
Yeah.
They got the ball 3 times, got negative yardage, and got a field goal out of it because their defense and their special teams are that strong. Their offense is disgustingly bad.
Yeah, and Kirk Ferentz is, number 1, unwilling to make a change at offensive coordinator with his son, Brian Ferentz, and number 2, unwilling to make a change at quarterback in Spencer Petras.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, back to Purdue, Nebraska, though.
And, well, hold on. But before we get to that, Wet Blanket, I get it. I get that you don't want to get your hopes up and you're believing the bottom 4 of the Big Ten are Nebraska, Northwestern, Indiana, and Rutgers. I get that. But Nebraska is
I would also not say
like
I don't think Nebraska.
You have to take into account that Nebraska was and still might be. Well, no, okay, I'm gonna go with this. Nebraska was terrible before Mickey Joseph took over. He's gotten this team to rally around him. They've gotten a new defensive coordinator, and despite them facing one mediocre offense and one bad offense, shutting out a team in the second half is still a big accomplishment. I don't care who it is. You've still got Division I, Power 5 athletes on the field, and your defense that went from allowing 600-plus yards to Georgia Southern to allowing 600 yards in 2 games combined and not allowing a single score in the second half of either one of those games. There is something going on, and I'm not saying that they're going to go out there and they're going to go undefeated the rest of the season. I'm not saying that.
I don't think they win this week.
But what I'm saying is there is a much better chance of them winning any of their games remaining on the schedule than there was before Mickey Joseph took over.
And I would honestly put Michigan State below Nebraska in the giant landscape of the Big Ten. Michigan State is not good. It's bad. Like Peyton Thorne started the year last year. You see what a NFL caliber running back can do for your offense in Kenneth Walker, because Peyton Thorne's a guy who you'll remember going into Nebraska's game in week 5, I believe it was, had not thrown a single pick. He has 9 touchdown passes and 7 interceptions right now. So I do not think I would actually put Michigan State below Nebraska in the giant scheme or landscape of the Big Ten Conference.
They're bottom 5. Nebraska's bottom 5.
Yes, and that's because of the of what we've seen so far in the last 4 years and change. And if you want to even go back farther, you could see in the last 7 years and change, right? That Nebraska has slowly declined to one of the worst teams in the Big Ten.
I mean, honestly, if you put all 3 phases of the game together, and I might catch some flack for this, but I mean, Nebraska might be better than Iowa. Iowa literally,
we can't say that right now because they haven't beaten them.
Iowa
many
literally
times.
has an anemic offense. They have a top 30 defense.
Yeah, they're good
and
on defense.
Their special teams are usually pretty strong, but their offense literally cannot move the ball forward.
Yeah.
They rely on their defense and their special teams to move the ball down the field.
So here's the thing. Let's go ahead and dive into a little bit more Purdue here. So Purdue is interesting. I was listening to Jeff Brom talk this week in his weekly press conference, and he only talked for 8 minutes. So there wasn't a whole lot of things in there to really say. But he did mention like the run defense. Purdue's run defense, it's a little misleading on statistic wise. It's a little misleading. So we look at the rush defense for Purdue, and it's a pretty strong statistic.
18th in the country.
However, when you look at the opponents that they've played, specifically in the Big Ten Conference, Penn State, they threw around the ball. They threw the ball around a little bit with Sean Clifford and then Drew Aller as well. And then you look at most recently, Maryland does not run the football. They let Talia go to work, and they have the 5-star wide receiver Rakeem Jarrett on the perimeter. They got dudes on the perimeter.
They air it out.
And Jeff Brom said that. And then he also added, he goes, our rush defense has been good, but he said, I don't want to go out of line and say that it's one of the top rush defenses in the country. This is from Jeff Brom saying something along the lines of, he goes, Maryland airs it out. Minnesota, they didn't have Muhammad Ibrahim when they played him.
Now, I get what he's trying to do, but at the same time, they've only allowed, 4 rushes of 20-plus yards?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
So that part is right. You're right.
That's a solid defense. You're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in, and you've only allowed 4 rushes of 20-plus yards. That's solid.
It is.
You want to look at how many Nebraska's allowed? And more than 4.
A lot. And here's the thing. I mean, Nebraska, it goes insane. Nebraska's going to have to get a good push up on the offensive line. Anthony Grant, you're going to have to ask him to carry the rock quite a bit, probably.
He's going to have to break tackles in the backfield.
Like he does every single week.
It's going to have to happen.
It's going to be the same thing every single week. We can't expect a wholesale change with this offensive line in 1 week. And we know there's going to be a little bit of changes. We know Mickey Joseph, as he said on Tuesday, is not worried about putting out a new 5 at any time. So we'll just see kind of what happens. But I think there's an avenue here for Nebraska to maybe make something happen on Saturday. Let's go ahead and head to our final timeout. We'll be joined by Strick and Nate for the crossover coming up next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The weather in Nebraska is unpredictable every day, and that's no fun when you're trying to golf. Double Eagle Golf in West Lincoln is now open to let you play in perfect indoor conditions daily. Double Eagle Golf has 5 simulator bays to hit in, by far the most in Lincoln. It has a fully stocked bar with beers and cocktails for you to enjoy while you play. Double Eagle Golf is open each weekday from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., so you can start the day there, take a client over lunch, or end the night with friends. Check out Double Eagle Golf today inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
October often presents all 4 seasons within 1 month. Are you and your feet prepared for the highs and lows? Stop in now to Brown Shoe Fit for a fall sale. Get $10 to $15 off any regular price shoe over $70. Save on dress shoes, athletic shoes, boots, and even hiking shoes. Brown's has great brands like Brooks, New Balance, Clark's, Hoka, Merrell, and more. Some exclusions may apply, so see store for details. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today for their fall sale, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
At Venue Catering and Events, we offer two of the most historic ballrooms in Lincoln. The Jasmine Room, located in the historic Grand Manse in the heart of downtown, featuring a beautiful built-in antique bar, spacious patio, and soaring skylit ceilings. The Scottish Rite Ballroom, located just 2 blocks from the state's capital, boasts intricate hand-carved columns, rich dark wood floors, and lavish chandeliers. The perfect venues to host your wedding, corporate event, or much more. For availability and more information, call us at 402-603-6483.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
A good game with good friends. But isn't it time to up the score when it comes to the food? Wings and Rings is here for every football fan. Catch the game on one of their big screens or snag a tailgate pack to go. They're cranking up the heat and throwing in mad flavor this season. Stop by your locally owned Wings and Rings on O Street in Meridian Park or 48th and Old Cheney in Williamsburg Village, or grab some crave-worthy Wings and Rings to go. Make them your go-to destination to watch your team bring home the win. Wings and Rings. Game time just got better.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Businesses from all over the capital city are excited to welcome you to the 2022 Lincoln Expo on Wednesday, October 19th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Enjoy one of the region's largest trade shows as you network, find out about Lincoln businesses, and visit the many interactive booths. The Expo has something for everyone, including the popular Lincoln Craft Beer Tour and a free Lincoln t-shirt. Best of all, it's free to attend. The Lincoln Expo, showcasing and celebrating local business.
They might win, they might lose, but either way, you have something to say about it. Don't miss the Husker After Party postgame show immediately following every Nebraska football game. Nick Sainert and Jake Bakoven give instant reaction, quotes from the players and coaches, and take all your phone calls with thoughts on the game. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, only on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sponsored by Action Plumbing and Heating, Gary Michaels Quilliers, and Brandt Excavating. There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef. The Mercado offers unique ingredients you can't find anywhere else, open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. The full-service butcher shop and retail store is wonderful for meat lovers with their exclusive certified Piedmontese beef and assorted sausages, plus other quality meats, including pork, chicken, and a wide range of the freshest seafood. Plus, every Friday from 11 to 2, the Mercado serves up the best lunch in town on their Friday Feast menu. Stop in at the Mercado today at 84th and Havelock or visit their website at cpmercado.com to see current deals.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Get a lot of advice about self-care these days, but one of the most important self-care steps we can take is making sure we're financially secure later in life. For small steps you can take to save for retirement, visit WeSaySaveIt.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary, sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, we're back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. All right, guys, so I have a statistic for you guys.
I love the statistics.
Derek Carr was the 4th quarterback selected in the 2014 NFL Draft. 2014, that's a long time ago.
Trash.
Behind Blake Bortles, who announced his retirement October 5th, by the way.
Bortles.
Blake Bortles.
That's your boy.
I like Blake Bortles.
That's Nate Dogg boy.
UCF
Honestly,
and Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Blake Bortles.
Honestly, I have no problem admitting this or how wrong I was. That draft class, when I was watching him at the combine, I was like, look, if this dude doesn't go number 1, something's wrong.
Blake Bortles, people forget about Blake Bortles and how good he was at UCF, leading them to a Fiesta Bowl, a win.
Do you
Fiesta
remember?
Bowl win over?
Do you remember that
Oklahoma?
pass to the back of the end zone where he just dropped it into the bucket?
Yes.
His receiver caught it and
But
slid.
everybody that goes to Jacksonville
dies. Well, not just
their career dies. Their
Just
career
broke.
dies.
Let's not forget that Blake Bortles went to an AFC championship, and that AFC championship was also rigged because there was 3 pass interferences on the final drive for the Patriots to beat the Jaguars.
Well, maybe Jalen Ramsey shouldn't have been so handsy.
It was actually AJ Bouye. You guys remember AJ Bouye?
AJ Bouye.
Yeah,
That combo.
was the final. That was the final call.
Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye. That was a great combo.
That was a great combo.
Also,
And then guess what?
Pro Bowler.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Pro Bowler. Well, he wasn't on that team.
He wasn't on that team
Who was
anymore,
the
but that's
running
just a running back there.
Oh, no.
I don't know. Everything dies. in
That's the thing is,
Jacksonville.
you look at that.
Wait, so
offense,
even
they were
coaches
terrible.
die when they go down
Blake
there.
Bortles is the entire offense.
What year would that have been? Like 2016?
What was the last coach that died that went
2014.
down to Jacksonville?
Maybe the same coach that everybody wants, apparently.
Who was the coach of that Jacksonville team? I'm telling you, Blake
Was it
Bortles.
Jack Del Rio?
His
No, was it
NFL
Gus
career
Marone?
was a good career.
I don't know, I'm just
Rico's
naming
throwing
coaches.
stuff out.
Gus Marone was a coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars at one point. It might have been old school, like the tan Jacksonville Jaguars with the weird looking Jaguar logo, which I actually really like.
Well, guess what happened when they didn't pay Blake Bortles? They became the worst team in the NFL.
All right, we got to figure out this AFC Championship game.
Disrespectful
Here it
Blake
is,
Bortles.
2017.
27. I
The
thought it was
last-
like
Well, so here's the thing.
2017.
Hold on. January 21st, 2018 was the official date. All right, let's figure out who the people were on this.
Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski.
Wait a second. There it is.
Yeah, because the Patriots went on to win. The
I don't
Super Bowl.
know. There's
Yes.
a lot of Patriots. Ooh,
I know that game was something was not right about that game.
They were
Hey,
still- they were-
didn't
they
wanna
were
see the
deflating footballs
Jaguars
back
They
then.
didn't want to see the Jaguars in the Super Bowl because it would have been the
There's a lot of
Jaguars
that.
and Eagles,
Hey, 6
Which
oh,
would've
yeah,
been
the
awesome.
Patriots lost that.
which
Super
would have been
Bowl.
awesome.
Patriots 6 Super Bowls in I'm just gonna say 28 years because that's how long I've been alive.
So-
Pretty good.
Here's the thing. Here's how everything. Oh, it was Leonard
I know.
Fournette.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It was
Lenny.
young. It was
Leonard
young
Fournette was
Lenny.
nice.
Young Lenny.
He wasn't playoff Lenny quite yet.
No,
He
not
wasn't thick Lenny.
Nah,
Nah,
he was young
no,
Lenny.
he
Not
was
quite.
not.
Thick Lenny.
It
right
was
now.
their
It was
receiver.
Doug Marone, the head
Doug
coach.
Marone. Nice.
You threw it out
You
there.
said Gus Marone.
No, I said Doug.
No, you said Gus.
Did I say Gus?
You said
Dang it!
Gus. You were
Yeah,
close.
you were close.
You were
Rico.
close.
Dang it.
Who was
I'll
the
give
coach
it
for
to
the
him.
Patriots?
Oh, well, God.
I
I don't know.
Good
All
time.
right.
McDaniels.
Did you say who is the quarterback?
No, I'm trying to think.
No,
Who was
it's
their
Bortles.
best receiver? Was it Marvin Jones?
Oh my gosh, how could we forget? It was not Marvin Jones. It was Alan Hearns.
Alan Hearns was
God.
good.
It was Alan Hearns, Marquise Lee,
Nice.
Oh,
the USC product.
D.D. Westbrook.
D.D. Westbrook was
Oh,
also nice.
Westbrook was not. He had a little speed. He get over the top.
The
Yeah.
Oklahoma product.
He get over the top.
Wow.
Blake Bortles was snubbed.
Oh,
That tell me you wouldn't have liked Eagles Jaguars. Tell me you wouldn't have liked that. Blake Bortles versus Nick Foles in the Super Bowl.
That would have
Blake-
been.
That's
that would've
no, that would be awesome.
Blake
terrible.
Bortles went 23 of 36 for 293 yards and a touchdown.
I actually had like a $200 bet with my
Put
friend from
respect on
college.
his name, Strick. Come on.
I like Blake Bortles. I just think
did
everybody
you?
that goes down to Jacksonville dies.
Do you remember that too? He ran for like
There's
80
nothing wrong
yards
with
that
it.
game
Yeah,
too.
so
I just think their career dies.
are you sure
threat.
about that?
Dual threat.
Are you sure?
Trevor
look.
Lawrence is next up.
Yeah, Trevor's not doing very well.
LaVisca
He'll be
Chenault
fine.
needs to make his way out of Jacksonville.
Yeah, he needs to get out before it's too late.
Big LaVisca Chenault fan.
Pretty sure he already got traded.
Oh,
LaVisca?
well, okay then.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the team anymore.
Oh,
Really?
good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know where he's
He
at.
had a
'Cause his
good
number one-
start.
Trivia. I will be very impressed if someone knows this because his number one option now is Zay Jones. Where did Zay Jones go to school?
Group of 5 school.
Yes.
Um,
Think American.
it's
the Virginia Tech killer, Zay Jones.
I was about to say Akron.
It is
no.
not. It is
That's
not.
Mac.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in the American.
Yep.
Team you wouldn't think of.
I got it.
Do you know who it is?
I do.
What is it?
East
East
Carolina
Carolina?
Pirates.
Nice. Yeah.
East Carolina Pirates.
East Carolina, Zay Jones. He was good.
Okay, so back to the stat.
I don't know why I was going to say
here,
Akron.
actually,
it just seemed like
let's
just seemed like-
Because
before we
you're thinking Ball
continue.
State, Mac.
Before we
Mac.
continue, can we let's pause 10 seconds for station identification? We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, so back to the stats. So Derek Carr was the 4th quarterback selected in the 2014 NFL Draft, behind Blake Bortles, Johnny Manziel, and Teddy Bridgewater.
Okay, watch it.
Listen,
watch it.
He now has more passing touchdowns.
Derek Carr was in the 2nd round, right?
He has. Let me finish. He now has more passing touchdowns than that trio combined.
Watch it.
Do you like Teddy Bridgewater?
Teddy 2 gloves, baby. Teddy touchdown. Teddy ball game, as they called him at Louisville. If he doesn't non-contact tear his ACL, one of the worst that those trainers were saying, one of the worst ACL tears that they've ever seen.
And
He almost lost his leg.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He almost lost his leg. That's how bad it was. If that doesn't happen, bro, he was tearing it up in Minnesota.
Yeah, but then Minnesota gave up on him.
They did, and I hate them.
They
for
got
it.
Kirk Cousins also disrespected.
I hate them
Really?
for it. How dare they go out and get Kirk Cousins when they have a perfectly great
Kirk Cousins
quarterback
does
on the roster?
pretty well in games that are not at night.
Kirk
That is
Cousins
true.
is the most
Game that doesn't matter.
is
Yeah,
the
you just don't
most
wanna have primetime Kirk.
Kirk Cousins is the most really good mediocre quarterback I have ever seen.
Craig
and
said,
what I mean when I say that is there are
Ooh.
moments where he looks like a certified Pro Bowler, like one of
Well,
the
he
best
started
quarterbacks
13
in
of
the
13
league.
on Sunday.
And then there are times where he looks like he does not belong on a football
I'll do you
field.
one better, Rico. Carson Wentz.
A better quarterback?
No,
than
I'm saying
Kirk,
Carson
or-
Wentz is the perfect example
Carson
of
Wentz-
just good but bad.
But Carson Wentz has never
Wait,
looked like
good or bad?
I'm in on that.
Carson Wentz has
You know what
never
I'm saying?
looked like
Yeah.
a certified
Break that
except
down
for
for
one
They
season.
need dudes around him.
Okay.
No,
You
he's had one season like that, but Kirk Cousins does that during a season. Like one game, he'll look like the best quarterback in the league. The next game, he'll look like, why are you playing? Where
I'll say
you should
that
be selling
he isn't
insurance.
as bad though as much of a flip because you guys remember. Well, I watched every Colts game.
Let's
last
ask
year.
Schaefer.
Carson Wentz against the Buccaneers threw for like 350 and 4 touchdowns.
No, people.
And then he threw left-handed in his
Exactly.
own end zone to lose in like the last game of the season. He is the
But
best.
That
with
man
that-
missed the playoffs.
and
he
they missed
had
the
that.
playoffs.
He had that one season. He
was the
where he
MVP.
was an MVP, and then he broke his leg.
Yeah,
Actually,
same
happened
with
to two
Derek
people
Carr.
because that happened to Derek Carr.
Yeah,
MVP
Derek Carr, too.
broke your leg.
No, Derek Carr is a step up from Carson Wentz,
Agreed.
obviously.
I still don't agree. 17-0 and you lose. Help me with that.
Well, it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
I don't give a damn.
It's the Kansas City
I don't give a
Chiefs.
He's got a point.
Really?
That's unbelievable.
You let a tight end go for 7
I-
receptions for 25 yards. And
Well,
4
was it
But
touchdowns.
Derek
that's
Carr's
not
fault.
Derek Carr's fault.
That's his fault because he didn't score.
That part.
They scored 29.
Okay, you're
You
facing
gotta-
the Chiefs. You got to score more. You know that.
You
You
could
have one of the best receivers.
I
in the
don't
league.
know.
You have
You
one of the
could've-
best.
he scored 2
Hold on,
touchdowns.
Hold on.
Here's the thing,
You
you
have one of the
could've-
best receivers in the league and one of the best possession receivers in the league in Hunter Renfrow,
He's
and you
banged
still
up a
can't
little
get
bit.
it done.
Here's the thing, though. You have to remember
And
that
you have
game.
Waller.
That game
Waller didn't
didn't
play.
play
I know,
on Monday.
but still.
You could have had that game tied at 30
I
apiece.
didn't understand that sitting on
But-
the bench with Waller, but go ahead.
No, that's fine. You could have had that game tied up at 30 apiece if you let Daniel Carlson kick the extra point with 4 minutes and 27 seconds left. If Josh McDaniels doesn't go for 2
Dude,
with
McDaniels.
4.5 minutes left,
Bad coach.
that game is tied, and you ended up forcing the Kansas City punt.
McDaniels is not meant
You
to be. a head
had a
coach.
chance.
He's not.
But yet here you are. You went for
Tank,
2. I get it if you go for 2 when there's like 30 seconds left, or if there's a minute left or whatever, when Kansas City's really going to have to extend the field and it's either make or break, you're going to have it. However, 4 minutes and 27 seconds left. You have all 3 timeouts for the Raiders,
Yeah.
and you decide to go for 2.
Never
that was
chase the 2 points.
mind-boggling to me
Don't chase.
when you were lucky. Like at that point, Kansas City had all the momentum, and you got a touchdown to get it to 30-29. Kansas City's up by 1, and you're not on the road. You're not going to just take the extra point and see if you can get a stop on defense, number 1, or worst case scenario, you go to overtime. You're not even going to give yourself a chance if you miss that.
That part.
And so that part doesn't fall on Derek Carr, in my opinion,
Okay.
because he scored.
All right.
He dropped 29.
That's a good point.
But however,
I'm still blame
I'm
Derek
still-
Carr. I'm
I'm
still
still-
blame Derek Carr.
However, Derek Carr, like they haven't won a Super Bowl. Like I get that.
You guys are also
and they're
saying you're
1 and
taking
4.
Carson Wentz over Derek Carr. That's kind of disrespectful.
I never said that.
No.
Oh, I thought that's
that.
what
No,
you
no,
guys
no,
were
no.
saying.
I
I
don't know
thought
what
that's what you guys saying. I was like,
what are you talking
whoa,
about?
whoa. Let's
You're
slow
not the
down.
smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, come
No,
on.
that's what I'm
Watch
saying.
out.
I'm not either. I take Kirk Cousins over Derek Carr.
Okay, so
I
Crow.
take Kirk Cousins. In a
Here's
heartbeat.
the thing, guys. We got a couple minutes left.
Blake Bortles.
Where's Jimmy G on our list? Now, I am a much bigger Jimmy G stan than a lot of people.
He's not good, bad. He's just mediocre. Like he is just he never has good games and he never has bad games.
Jimmy G is the quarterback that you use as a stopgap for, if you think that there's a better quarterback somewhere.
That's what I'm saying.
out there.
Like Jimmy G is going to be able to take you to the playoffs.
He's not
Jimmy
going
G
to
will
win
get
you the
there, but
playoffs.
He ain't going to win it unless your defense is just
Jimmy G has been to the NFC Championship game
all I'm saying,
3 times.
Here's the thing.
That's crazy.
Here's the thing. Let's say the Colts are a perfect example because they decided to just do these filler quarterbacks every couple years, and it's so stupid. And like I think they should have held on to Carson Wentz, but I thought they should have
found some help for freaking Andrew Luck.
Yeah,
to protect him.
that's
what
true.
they
That's
should've
I'm
done.
mad they built the offensive line after he left.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, no.
Too
Like
soon.
if the Colts are a team that they have a lot of
Still
pieces.
hurts.
They have the Colts have pieces. They have a great defense when Darius Leonard's playing. They have a great running back in Jonathan Taylor, who's probably the number 1 running back in the
country
entire
right now.
league if he's healthy. And you have a guy in Michael Pittman who had a breakout rookie season last year. And now you have a guy in Matt Ryan that can't get him the ball because he's a sitting duck back there and he's old. Like if the Colts wanted to really compete for not only a playoff spot, but maybe to do something, get a guy that can distribute the ball like a Jimmy Garoppolo. However, if you're the 49ers here, and I said this morning with AD and Raph, the 49ers are hoping and praying that Jimmy G continues to play well, because if they decide to stick with Trey Lance, that trade value skyrockets, especially with how valuable quarterbacks are right now in today's league. I mean, we're seeing it with contracts they sign and just normal trade value.
I think also when you look at that part, Nick, you save the bag on Trey Lance. So you don't have to pay him market value because he's not worth market value.
But man, you've put a lot of You've invested a lot. You've invested a lot in Trey Lance for no results.
I said it before. I feel the worst for Trey Lance because he was drafted into a bad situation. And what I mean by that is he was drafted by a good team who thought they were going to get rid of their quarterback. Yeah. He was able to sit for a year and kind of learn and get things going. And when he got his chance to start, he got hurt. And then the quarterback he was supposed to replace starts playing well again. So Trey Lance, who really has no film to show other teams in the NFL, and he started for for 1 year in college. He has absolutely nothing to show to other NFL teams. It's just taking a chance on, we think he's going to be good.
Like right now, would you rather take Jimmy G or Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott.
Okay, is it close?
No, it's not close.
Okay,
not relative.
Okay, good. Let's go to the phone lines. We got John on the line. John, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm good. I got a couple of points. So you guys were talking about that Raiders and Chiefs game the other night. As a Raiders fan, I think I can shine some light on kind of what initially it was mind-boggling to me that you wouldn't kick the PAT, but as I sat back and thought about it, I wouldn't question in hindsight always being 2020 because they hadn't showed any defense whatsoever in the entire second half to be able to stop Kansas City. If they kick the field goal, if they tie the game up, the Kansas City has had troubles because they were on a backup kicker. They go down and kick. If the guy misses, the game goes into overtime and the game's at home. But he'd already showed a propensity to miss field goals from 42 yards. Whereas if they go ahead and the guy misses, the Raiders win the game. So I get that component. We also have to keep in mind, and I love you guys bagging on Derek Carr. You guys always like bagging on Derek Carr. Well, let me give you something else on Derek Carr. A week before the season started, during final cuts, they cut the starting right tackle, who was, again, one of Gruden's absolutely terrible picks, who, with his infatuation with Alabama players, he took Alex Leatherwood in the first round that nobody understood, and Alex Leatherwood gets cut. So Derek Carr, for the last umpteen amount of seasons, would work with an absolutely terrible makeshift offensive line, and he does pretty good statistically when you consider that Alex Leatherwood was the worst offensive lineman statistically in the NFL last year.
Wow, John!
So let me throw you some different points of view here, guys. I appreciate you though. Thanks much. Thanks for talk.
Thanks, John.
I think honestly,
I like Derek. I do not bag on Derek Carr.
I think what's wrong with the Raiders is honestly Josh McDaniels.
Derek Carr's okay.
I think Josh McDaniels isn't the head coach. I think he's probably their main problem.
I don't know why people keep trying to take a chance. Leave him as an offensive coordinator with the Patriots.
I agree.
All right, just leave him alone. Don't hire him as a head coach. And I'm not saying that just because as a Patriots fan, I would love to have some semblance of an offense.
Is he Scott Frost in the professional level?
Yes.
Ooh.
I think unfortunately,
I'm just throwing it out there.
Remember that time he took Tim Tebow to the playoffs?
I mean, there are guys that are just siloed to be good at what they do.
Yeah.
Their guys just don't know how to handle the full scope of what a team is. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Scott Frost isn't a good coach. I think he's siloed to what he does good. Keep him there.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow's also elite. Come on.
And in college,
Tim Tebow's a winner.
In
I'll take a winner on my
college.
team. I don't care how good he is at passing the ball. I want a winner on my team. That's why I want Jimmy G.
Okay.
College. Jimmy G's a winner.
A little bit of news here, guys. I don't know if you saw this. Over the next 48 months, do you know how much Matt Rule is making?
How much?
All
Per month. $834,000.
For the next how many months?
Matt Rule is making $834,000 a month for the next 48 months, courtesy of the Carolina Panthers.
Man, how good would it be to just turn a program around and get hired for the bag and then get fired?
I don't
Unreal.
mind. Huskers, I'm waiting.
I see what you just did there.
Strick and I will share the duties. We will share the duties. All right, we're done for today. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Deep dive into Purdue specifically on Thursday. And we get you ready for Huskers and Purdue on the block with Strick and Nate's coming up next. See ya.
Adios. There's nothing quite like the Mercado by Certified